What's up, y'all? It's Pokey Professor Will here, and today we're doing some maintenance on my 4x90 skates. I'm rotating the wheels, but I'm also adding Loctite to my axles because the blue polymer thread has worn down, and I need to prevent them from slipping out of my frame while I'm riding. So if you have rotated your wheels several times, then you have likely worn down the blue polymer thread that originally comes on your axles, and that will lead to your axles becoming loose with vibration, and they could potentially slip out. And when they do slip out, typically your wheel will either fall off or your wheel will lock, and in either case that could potentially lead to a hazardous situation, right? um, so as far as my 4x90 banana rockered endless frames, I've been using the following two wheel rotations. So today I'm going to be doing the right hand rotation, but if you alternate between these two wheel rotations on a like a four-wheel setup that is either rockered or flat that has all the same wheel size, like 4x90, 4x80, 4x76, etc., right? Alternating between these two wheel rotations will essentially put the wheel at each spot before returning the wheel to the original spot, if that makes sense. The wheel will go to each 8 spots before it will return to the original spot. And so in my experience, I mean, this is the best even wheel wear pattern if you're going to rotate this way. For my Triskates, I use the following rotation method, and this will also do the same thing. So I don't have to alternate. I just stick to this one rotation for my Triskates, and this does the same thing. It rotates the wheel to each spot before returning it to the original location, and so a really nice wheel wear pattern for a flat Triskate. Hey Luna, what are you doing? One of my dogs is curious on what we're doing. Huh? Are we making a YouTube video, girl? Are we making a YouTube video? All right. So I haven't rotated my wheels yet. My left set is here. My toe is on the top. Heel is on the bottom. My right side skate, toe on the top, heel on the bottom. So for the right hand rotation, I will just move the bottom to the top, and then I'll just swap them. So now here's my right and here's my left, and I have now rotated the wheels. So whenever I'm installing these, I'll just remember to put the more worn side on the outside, right? We want the less worn side on the inside of the skate because that's where we get most of the friction from our push, right? So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and add the Loctite. One thing that is very, very, very important when you are buying Loctite is that you buy the blue formula. There is a blue formula which is 242 strength. I've also seen 243 strength as well. And there's a red formula which is 271 strength. The red is a permanent adhesive. You would need to heat the axles up quite a bit to get the adhesive to loosen up for you to be able to rotate your wheels again, which is a pain in the ass, right? You don't want to do that. The blue is it's a medium adhesive rather than a strong high adhesive, but it's for temporary. So whenever we want to rotate these again, we want to be able to get the axles off, right? So I'm going to shake it up. It says to shake it up on the destructions on the back, right? And we're just going to add a little drop to the male end of our axles. So I have the 8 axles here. I've got the gold ones. I got these from Thorough. Shout out to them. Really great skate shop. But I like the fancy stuff, and I want to be able to use these gold axles again, so I need to Loctite them if I don't want them to fall out, right? So just a little drop. I'm going for the side that didn't originally have the blue polymer on it. After you've applied 1 drop of Loctite to each one of your axles, they should look something like this. You don't want any globs of Loctite at the end. it just takes one drop. So as long as the Loctite is seated inside the threads like so, you will be good to install the axles. After a couple of applications of Loctite, you'll have some dried up Loctite at the end of your axles and also inside the axle slots on your frames. You'll want to clean that off so that you can get everything seated properly again. I wipe down my axles with a paper towel and then I clean my axle slots with a nylon toothbrush, but that's something that you're going to want to do. If you get this stuff on your hands, you can wash it off with water. Um, I always wash my hands with soap and water after I do any kind of bearing maintenance, or any time of wheel skate maintenance in general. But especially if I'm using something like this, I don't want to ingest that later on. So, and this thread locker, it's not going to dry really fast, so we don't need to worry about getting these axles in um, fast, right? So if you add a little bit too much, like if it looks a little bit globby, what I do is I just kind of tap the axle down. Like that one looked a little bit globby. This one over here, let me try to get it out of here without causing too much chaos, right? But I'm just going to kind of dab it down and get that adhesive into the threads. There we go. Okay, cool. Now we're ready to install. So I'll go ahead and here's our left skate. So toe on my left end. This side is less worn, so it's going to go on the inside. And I'm just going to go ahead and set my wheels. Okay, this side is less worn. I'm going to set all four into the frame before I add the axles. This one's less worn. Okay. And this one, it's less worn on this side for sure. If you can't tell one way, if you flip it around, usually it's kind of obvious. Okay. I use the Sonic tool. I like the color, but also the quality. And I have this bearing, or the wheel aligner, I guess is what it's called, part. But this makes it real easy to align the wheels with the frames. So now we're gonna install the axles, and you can just put those straight through, hand tighten a little bit, right? Here's our next one, straight through, hand tighten a little bit. We'll tighten it all the way with the Sonic tool here in a second. But easy peasy, easy, easy, easy. Now we're gonna get it tightened down. Okay, there we go. There we go. And so now I will not have to worry about these axles falling out. I've never had an axle come loose with this Loctite. It keeps the axles in there pretty well. I actually just ordered a larger bottle of Loctite from Amazon. I can go ahead and share the link in the description for that. Because I'm going to start using it every time I rotate my wheels, which for me, I rotate my wheels on this pair of skates every single day. I put about, it depends on the season, but 1.5 to 3 hours of skating per day on these. Lately, I've been doing a lot of power slides, and that wears down the wheels a little bit faster. I've developed muscle in my legs, so pushing harder will cause you to wear your wheels down faster as well. The hotter weather, all of those are factors for that. We've got the axles installed on the skates, our wheels are rotated, and my axles have thread lock on them, so I don't have to worry about them falling out when I'm going fast on the trail tomorrow. I'm ready to roll. But I'm not ready to roll right away because the thread locker, the Loctite, it has a cure time of 24 hours and a set time of 10 minutes. In my experience, I go about 18 hours between application and my next skate, and I've never had any problems. But you want to give it a little bit of time to set. You can also use this on the two-part axles. I was using the one-part 8mm axles. You can also use this for 2-part axles or 6mm axles, or even your frame bolts as well. So hopefully this helps you out. If you have any questions, any comments, I'd love to hear them. We got crashed by one of my dogs earlier, my Luna dog. Here's my other dog over here. I got Rosie the Great Pyrenees mix, and then Luna the Husky mix. But these are my 2 girls. All right. I hope you guys have a good one. We'll see you next time. Peace.